we hear news of some high-profile wins, but there are, in a way, it's a limited number of clients that the market hears about. But great client names like Kuehne and Nagel might see parts of the NHS and parts of the French government, and a recent win with Vestas. What's your opinion on the pace at which buyers are adopting your solution? And are you on plan? And a third question, if I may layer that on top, is obviously there's been quite a lot of investment in Tradeshift. What's the board thinking about the pace at which adoption is taking place?
So I think it's two different questions. So the first question is, what is the buyer adoption, and how are we doing there? And I think the second question is, what do the board feel about the investment they made, and do they think we are on track towards the goals that we set of that investment, right? And if you look at the first question, I can actually tell you that we closed 14 customers in the last 2 years. So there are some that is not public, and there are some that are quite recent. But I think we're very happy with that. I think, in fact, that's more than most of my European competitors in the same time frame. So you can say in a way I think we are ahead of the game. We are a very new player. I think most new startups do not close Fortune 500 companies within the first year of existence, and we've been able to do that, and we've been able to keep the speed up. I think 2013 will be an even better year for us. I think both the SAP and Ariba acquisition has really helped us a lot, and also there's a clear recognition of our brand and who we are in the market right now. So I think 2013 will be a great year for us. If you look at our pace of growth and is the board happy about where we are? So I think one of the big things about Tradeshift is we've always been able to raise money, and I think a lot of people think we've been raising money just like being like everybody else, but we have a plan that's much broader, and I mean it when I say that we actually have a plan to connect all the companies in the world, and that's what we want to do. So something we look very much at when we are dealing with our investors and board is stuff like network growth. And I mean, we are currently growing 10 times faster than any other network before us, Ariba and OB10 included. We've reached a network size of 150,000 suppliers in 2 years, which is by far the largest player in Europe. And these are not just marketing numbers. So to give a very clear example, we won our last 2 deals on supply match. So it's actually, I think, it's stuff like that has always been in scope when we're talking to our investors and when we're talking about our mission. And I think we are set up to exist for the long term. And I think as this industry becoming more commoditized, as you see even more fees going out of the market, I think we'll have an even greater time, because this was the strategy and the vision that we sold to our investors to begin with. I did not promise my investors that I would double the revenue from supplier fees over the next 4 years as other players have.
So as far as the kind of being on plan is concerned, the reality fits in with the original plan, does it?
I think, to be honest, we had not dared think that we could have closed 14 of the largest companies in the world and having a network of 150,000 suppliers in 2.5 years after we launched Tradeshift. So to be honest, we are far ahead of most of the expectations and even projections we made.
Okay, and you touched on funding, so let's just have a chat about that, because last year Tradeshift went through a round of funding and raised 24 million in 2011. And I'm understanding that another round of funding is fairly imminent. Why is that? And what can investors, I suppose, and also the market expect from your next round of funding? Is there a big growth spurt that's ahead of you, or is the round of funding for another reason?
So I want to be very clear. So we do not need to raise money currently. So I think that's a little bit of a misunderstanding. We do have a very large queue of people who are interested in investing. And I think if we take money now in the near future, it will only be because it's a strategic fit for us. So to talk about what it is, what can people expect, I think people can expect that we will keep growing like we are now. I think what we're doing right now has so far been extremely interesting to investors, and I think it will only get more interesting as we're gaining traction. But we're not in a situation where we need to raise money currently.